carrying a reflecting telescope with an effective diameter of 2.5 meters or 100 inches at altitudes up to 45,000 feet above the obscuring layer of water vapor in Earth's atmosphere. The observatory is based at NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in Palmdale, California. NASA Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California manages SOFIA's science and mission operations in cooperation with the University's Space Research Association, or USRA, in Columbia, Maryland, and the German SOFIA Institute, DSI, at the University of Stuttgart. The SOFIA Observatory is a Boeing 747 SP with a distinguished history. It was originally acquired by Pan American World Airways and was delivered in May of 1977. The SP designates that this is a special performance short body version of the 747 designed for longer flights than the Boeing 747 Classic, such as the 747-100, 200, and 300 series jetliners. SOFIA is actually 48 feet 4 inches shorter than. Although Pan Am typically named its aircraft after famous clipper ships, they gave this aircraft a special name, the Clipper Lindbergh, in honor of the famous aviator Charles Lindbergh. Lindbergh's widow, Anne Morrow Lindbergh, personally christened the aircraft and officially placed it into service on May the 6th, 1977, the 50th anniversary of his history-making first solo flight from New York to Paris in 1927. In February 1986, United Airlines purchased the plane. United removed it from active service in December 1995, and it was purchased by NASA in 1997. The aircraft was substantially modified for its new role as a flying astronomical observatory by L3 Integrated Systems of Waco. To ensure proper modification, a dismantled section from another 747 SP was used as a full-size mock-up. On April 26, 2007, SOFIA made its first post-modification flight in the skies over Waco. It was subsequently flown to then Charles Lindbergh's grandson. On January the 14th, 2007, at the end of its closed-door flight testing, SOFIA briefly visited Ames Research Center before continuing on to its permanent flight operations home at the new Armstrong Flight Research Center, operated Dryden Aircraft Operations Facility in Palmdale. And just a couple of interesting information about the airplane. It does have a speed of Mach 0.85. Like most modern research telescopes, the SOFIA telescope features a mirror concentrated in focusing from the light. SOFIA's primary mirror, located in the bottom of the telescope, is 2.7 meters or almost 9 feet across, with a 2.5 meter effective aperture. The installation weight is 17 tons. This makes it by far the largest telescope based in an aircraft. The front surface is highly polished and coated with a reflectivity is equally concave. Internal light rays bounce off the curved surface and are all reflected forward at the same time they are reflected back upwards toward the front of the telescope. Before the light reaches the telescope's front end, however, it is intercepted by a small secondary mirror about 0.4 meters across, which sends the light back down towards the center of the main mirror. About a meter above the center of the main mirror, a third mirror sends the light out through the side of the telescope down a long tube, which projects through the main aircraft bulkhead into the interior of the SOFIA aircraft. There, at the telescope's focal point, the light will be recorded and analyzed by one of several different computers. Now, studying the universe using only visible light results in a very limited microwave and others. Many others have taken almost all their energy at infrared wavelengths. They are invisible with an observed in ordinary visible light. In other cases, clouds of gas and dust in space block the light emitted by more distant objects, so infrared energy can reach our telescopes. In both cases, the only way to learn about other objects is to study infrared light waves. So here, we use to study different types of astrophysical objects and phenomena. But most of the most interesting are starburst death, formation of new solar systems, identification of complex molecules in space, planets, comets, and asteroids in our solar system, nebulae and dusting galaxies, or ecosystems of galaxies, and black holes as observed galaxies. So we use 7 instruments, including cameras, spectrometers, and photometers, operate at severe, mid, and far infrared wavelengths. Some that are suited to studying a particular phenomenon, while others are general purpose are capable of acquiring data simultaneously with another instrument. Currently, they are in a final phase to select the third generation of instruments. So we use the first planet target was Jupiter and the Messier ABC galaxy. Now, one of my favorite parts about the SOFIA program is the SOFIA Airborne Astronomy Ambassadors Program. The SOFIA mission is responsible to NASA for conducting an education and public outreach program that exploits the unique attributes of airborne astronomy to contribute to national goals for the reform of science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM education, and to the elevation of public scientific and technical literacy. SOFIA's Airborne Astronomy Ambassadors effort is a professional development program aspiring to improve teaching, inspire students, and inform communities. SOFIA's Airborne Astronomy Ambassadors program has enrolled more than 80 teachers from 26 states and the District of Columbia as of the end of 2015. And if you follow the mission website, they will have announcements from time to time asking for teachers to apply for the program. So if you know of any teachers that might be interested, be sure to have them check that out. Now here's a couple of highlights from last year from the SOFIA mission. The first one was as Pluto passed its comet system star, it cast a faint shadow on Earth. By flying in that shadow, SOFIA was able to study the dwarf planet and its atmosphere. SOFIA was the only observatory able to observe this event directly from the center of the shadow, which fell over the southern Pacific Ocean. This observation was very timely, helping to validate similar data collected by the New Horizons spacecraft as it made its nearest approach to Pluto 2 weeks later on July the 14th. And by the way, that's not the first occultation flight that they've done. The first one was back in 2011. And also last year, actress and science education advocate Michelle Nichols, of course, of Star Trek fame, flew with a group of airborne astronomy ambassadors. She played Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek and used her role to recruit women and other underserved populations for NASA and into various science careers. During the flight, she answered questions about SOFIA online and sent messages to students, continuing to inspire the next generation of scientists. And as I mentioned earlier, SOFIA spent about 5 weeks flying out of Christchurch in New Zealand to study celestial objects that are more easily observed from southern latitudes. Observations include examining star formation and evolution processes in the Milky Way and nearby galaxies such as the Nebula Cloud, and studying the atmosphere on the dwarf planet Pluto. SOFIA will be returning to Christchurch this year for another series of southern sky observations. Selection of 101 astrophysics research programs for science-wide observatory's 4th annual cycle of operations. These investigations will be conducted from February 2016 to January 2017, including the deployment to the southern hemisphere in mid water on Mars, a search for remnant signs of planet formation around nearby stars, and a comprehensive study of star formation processes across the entire galaxy. U.S. and German review panels comprised of experts drawn from the scientific community evaluate the scientific merits of submitted proposals. NASA awarded a total of 478 hours of completed guest observer time, and NASA's partner, the German Aerospace Center, awarded 80 hours to be carried out during 165 flights planned for the next year. Other observing hours during those flights will be allocated for other purposes.
Streaming the ham shack on the internet right now.
Alright, so that is the Sophia Flying Observatory, and now I will go to my 65P, and what were your comments?
Hey, Kelly, very good. Thank you very much. This is very close to my heart. Thanks. Very great on motivation team 141. And thank you for the comment that everyone together. And I was going to say to you, traveling for your family. Secondly, my class is here, and I don't experience that AM tourism, interest, technology, science, technology, very good. Simply scholarship, there's things you can't give me, things like that. That's the only thing that takes life.
Mike, and actually when I was talking about the other aircraft, that was for Sophia's predecessor, for the Hyper Airport Observatory. And so the 747 is the current Sophia telescope. Let's move on to Bill and 5GB. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Kelly. That was a great presentation, by the way. I really enjoyed this. It so happens that I was actually inside the 747 before they got it to telescope at L3 in Waco during the business down here. And so they had set up an area building and then was able to walk into the 747. They had not yet cut the hole and got it to telescope. So they were still preparing the airframe to L3 was very proud of that, of the Sophia project, extremely proud. When they completed the aircraft and took it off, they made 10 flights, and they were off the show-up flights, flying over Waco, the city of Waco. And it was a very, very proud moment for us. That project, I was reading up about it, it far exceeded their plans mechanically for how the aircraft operates. It has a very complex and involved system that they had to develop to navigate. Because you have all this problem with vibration, attitude of the airplane, and everything that you can imagine. And they got a telescope in there that has its own kind of mouth, but it can't move around very far, and the aircraft has to be in exactly the right orientation for the telescope to operate properly. And there's lots and lots of constraints on that. So it all works better than anticipated. That's the whole navigation control system. One other very interesting thing is that the telescope, because of the altitude it has, they have to be very careful about moisture, or it would get ice on the lenses and everything. So what they have to do is on the ground, they pump nitrogen into the telescope filter for a long time. I think it's a couple And when they get to the altitude, it opens that airlock, and that's what exposes the telescope to the thing. So it's a very, very involved mechanical system that is sealed up on the ground. Nitrogen forced into it, and when it gets up to altitude, it opens up as the airplane flying at high speed and high altitude. So this is a very, very complex system. That's all I got in fast TV.
Thank you for that, Bill. That's great information, and I'm very jealous that you got to receive the same details down in Waco. That's really awesome. All right. Does anyone else have any comments before we move on? All right. I guess we better all ID. So on the count of three, press your push the call button and throw out the call sign. 1, 2, 3.
W1XWX.
Alright, that was really good. Everybody feel like this is K5 KPX. Let's move on to what you can see in the sky over the next couple of weeks. Tom, K5 IPX, what do you have for us tonight?
I gotta find the foot pedal here. Hold on. Yes. EarthSky.org/tonight has some really cool stuff this evening.
Yes,
All right,
over
before we
here.
have, I left my
Watch
glasses
TV.
in the
We're watching
envelope,
TV
so
and listen.
please don't
Listen in.
be too critical. Tonight, January 16th, 2016, we can't see anything, but imagine this, if you will. The moon reaches its half illuminated first quarter phase. The exact phase is reached at 23:26 universal time today. Although the first quarter moon happens at the same instant worldwide, it occurs at different times by the clock, depending on one's time zone. Here in the mainland United States, the first quarter moon comes on January 16th at 6:26 Eastern Standard Time, 5:26 our time. From around the world, people will see the moon in their evening sky. It will appear about half illuminated. One half of the lunar disk is always illuminated by the sunlight, while the nighttime half is submerged in the moon's own shadow. At first quarter moon, we'll see half the moon's day side and half of its night side. The lunar terminator, with shadow line dividing day from night, shows you where it's sunrise on the first quarter of the moon as it waxes towards the full moon. It's long. I just lost my place. It's along the terminator that you may have your best three-dimensional views of lunar terrain through binoculars or a telescope. Try looking in evening twilight when the sky isn't quite dark yet to illuminate the glare from the moon itself. If you were on the moon at its first quarter phase and looking back at Earth, you'll see the Earth at its last quarter phase as displayed in the image below here. If you're looking, that's the last quarter Earth as viewed from the first quarter moon. Link here over on W5XWX.org, which you can find all the links there. And seen from the moon, the terminator on the last quarter Earth depicts sunset as the last quarter Earth wanes towards its new phase. However, when the last quarter moon comes on February 1st, the lunar terminator will show you where it sunset on the last quarter moon. On that future date, February 1st, 2016, from the vantage point of the last quarter moon, the earthly terminator will show you its sunrise on the first quarter moon as illustrated here. shown that the Earth and Moon are like mirrors to each other in that when we see the first quarter moon in the sky, those on the moon will see the last quarter Earth. So we're going to have to ask them about that. And then finally, coming from the U.S. Naval Observatory, USNO.Navy.mil, you can find that. They give a weekly update as to what the season got. The following is from the astronomer there, the moon wave waxes illuminating sky this week, making her way northward along the ecliptic to join the stars of the bright winter constellation. First quarter occurs on the 16th at 6:26 p.m. EST. Luna passes in front of the bright star Aldebaran on the evening of the 19th. The star will disappear behind the moon's dark limb at 9:28 Eastern Standard Time. I guess it's already happened. Sorry. And reappears on the bright limb at 10:36. That also happened. Sorry. The disappearance should be easily visible with the unaided eye, but you'll probably want to use a small telescope to observe the reappearance. Residents along the northern Gulf Coast and the Florida-Georgia state line will see a particular grazing occultation where Aldebaran will seem to flicker as it passes behind lunar peaks and valleys along Luna's southern limb. Pretty cool. As the moon waxes, she brightens the evening sky, gradually obscuring most of the fainter stars of the autumnal constellations that grace the western half of the celestial sphere in the early evening. Fortunately, these stars soon set, and at 9 p.m. the bright stars will break the circle, take over, and take us to meridian.
Sit in and
The
listen.
circle is
Or you
centered
can
on
watch
Orion,
TV.
Hunter, perhaps the single most recognized constellation in the sky.
Sit in and listen, or you can watch
Orion
TV too.
is visible from every inhabited part of the planet, and virtually every civilization that has left us records of their sky lore has a name for this prominent group. An imaginary line drawn through Hunter's straight-right belt stars point southeastward to Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. Moving clockwise from Sirius, the circle passes through the stars Proteus, Pollux, Castor, Capella, and Aldebaran before winding up at Rigel, one of the Orion's blue beat gaps. Near the center of the circle is the star Proteus, one of the most colorful stars in the sky. The star's warm orange in contrast with cooler ice blue hues of Rigel and the constellations of other bright stars. The star's unusual name is a corruption of the Arabic name Al-Zuza, which loosely translated means the armpit of the central one. Well, I don't know if I wanted to know that. TMI. The confines of the Great Lunar Circle stay negative. Their stars, brightest stars, meaning the sky's brightest stars, outreaches right, which makes it a welcome sight for those of us in the northern hemisphere who face long nights during our winter season. Most of these stars are relatively close to us. The scale, Sirius lies a mere 8.5 light years away from us, and Procyon is just 11 light years away. The distance of the winter circle stars is Aldebaran at 67 light years, but then we get to Rigel. This star, the seventh brightest in the entire sky, is nearly 1,000 light years away. This means that Rigel must be an immensely bright star with luminosity some 60,000 times greater than ours own sun. If we somehow throw a giant lasso around Rigel and drag it to the nearby distance of Sirius, it would shine with the apparent brightness of the first quarter moon. Pretty cool. Our winter nights would be very different major constellations of the coming spring. The best time to view him is in the wee hours of the morning, but he's high in the southwest in the hours before sunrise. Through a telescope, you can enjoy the antics of this four bright nerds, first documented by Galileo Galilei 405 years ago this month. On the morning of the 15th, three of them will seem to clump together to the west of the planet. Mars continues to drift eastward, and the star Exhibit El Janubi, I know all you guys know how to say that in Libra, a tail running deep in the
W1XWX.
southeastern sky. Its small pink disc is gradually beginning to grow in size, and Earth begins to catch up with the red planet, but you'll still be hard-pressed to see much detail other than the bright north polar cap. And finally, Saturn is next up, having been passed by Venus last week. We should be able to see wide open rings before it gets washed out by the approaching twilight. And then lastly, bright Venus across the southeast horizon as the sky brightens before sunrise. It should be visible up to the time of sunrise, a dazzling beacon in the pale blue light of dawn. And that's all I have on my happy next. This is 85 Isaac back to net control.
Should I make a quick comment?
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I think common vision is, and you probably know this already, I think you'll be telling you something you already know. But there is the brightest star on the magnitude 1.5, and you can see here to bad things. There is an indicated meter, and it was thought that Ameritron, with the daytime constellation KWM2, it was thought that the period as it became summer, as the dog, the great dog, was really the term dog day. The dog days of summer came so because they actually counted the period added for each of the summer days. It's not true. That's what's thought. The dog days of summer comes from David Major being up in the summer time, featured by people.
Thanks for that, Mike. And yes, around the time of the first meteor shower in August, Sirius comes up, I think maybe just a little bit before the sun, but they do rise about the same time, and during August it is definitely the dog days of summer. Alright, before we move on, let's go ahead and see if there's anybody that would like to check in at this time. If so, please bring your call sign, your name, and where you're transmitting from.
Kilo Golf 5, Juliet Papa, November, Mark, and Alex.
Hi, KC5, JP and Mark. Welcome to the event this evening. We better go ahead and ID one more time before we move on to St. Carolyn's segment. So on the count of three, press your push the talk button and throw out the call sign. 1, 2, 3. Just you one. Okay, Carolyn, KC5 OZG, bring us the constellation for this week. Kelly, this is KC5 OZG, and tonight we're going to look at small constellations, Latham, Hair, and Latham Green, Hair. But tonight, first cataloged by Ptolemy in the 2nd century.
Yeah,
It's
here,
common
get over
to
here
many
on this side.
famous
Sit
sites.
right here.
Variable
Because
star,
I gotta get over
orange,
here.
Why?
Because I have to be over here.
stars, several big
Come on, sit
stars.
right here and you can sit down.
It's located
Yeah.
under a line of street. It's perfect constellation inside.
Sit right there.
And Mr. Music picture had already been chased by Orion and its hunting dogs, represented the Canis Major and the Canis Minor. Okay, we'll move on to some of the major stars. And let's talk about first. It's the brightest star in Leo. It's the yellow-white supergiant star, magnitude 2.59. It's a Class 7 star. Its proper name, Arneb, comes from Arabic word which means the hair. And Alpha is a very old, dying star. But neither is still expanding nor can pass through the supergiant stage, and is in the process of contracting and heating up. It's like in a supernova. Interesting star is the moon in the report. Blue-white singular star. Magnitude 3.26. And it is expected variable star with a period of about 2 days. The reason I think this anyway, the star spectrum has an overabundance of manganese and mercury. And also an X-ray source has been detected only used about 9.93 arc seconds from the star. They think this might be a star that's not yet on the main sequence, or a small low-temperature star. I guess orbiting the moon. And also marked gamma record. It's a yellow-white main sequence star, right there, magnitude 3.6. It's a member of the Ursa Major moving group we've mentioned before. And it is only slightly larger than the Sun, and it's a very high target for the terrestrial planet finder mission. Okay, and then there are really two very famous variables in this constellation. One is RX reported. It's a semi-regular variable, it's class M, and it's a red giant. And its magnitude varies between 5 and 7.4, which makes it to follow in binoculars. And for this, I had some charts, some charts for RX reported. They're drenched, you can print it out and use it to, make estimates of brightness. Anyway, this star can be found right next to the Iota report on the chart, which is about 4 degrees south of Rigel, and makes that easy to find. It was always one that was fun to follow. And then, another famous variable, and I didn't realize I sent Tom 2 pictures of it that had 2 over. There were titles,
Robin stars, class 2. It's well-known variable, and this is a long period variable, period of 418 to 441 days. It ranges from 5.5 to 11.7, which is still in the range of the most even small telescopes. So I got 2 charts. That one was an 8 chart, they call it, for brighter magnitude, and a big chart that shows fainter magnitude when it's at minimum. Anyway, it's interesting. This star was actually discovered by the British astronomer J.R. Hygain in 1845, and he named it Tiny Crimson Star after himself. He described the star as appearing like a drop of blood on a white field. And you have to admit, if you look at the pictures, that's a very apt description. And of course, it appears reddish when it's dim. And when during those periods, it may be the most visible reddish star in the sky. They think this intense reddish may be a result of the carbon in the star's outer atmosphere, removing the blue part of the visible light spectrum.
Okay, baby, sit down. Sit down. Okay,
Well, these 2 variables are really good targets, and easy to observe if you want to get started in variable observing, and they're just beautiful to see anyway. Okay, we'll move on to the big sky objects. They're not a whole lot, but did mark M79. It's a nice globular cluster, magnitude 8.56, and it was included in Discovery 1780, and of course included in FDA's catalog. Now, like M54 and Sagittarius, the other extragalactic globular cluster catalog, M79 is believed to have originated outside the Milky Way in a dwarf galaxy called the Same Major Dwarf Galaxy. This dwarf galaxy is currently interacting Anyway, the Canadian Major Dwarf Galaxy is currently interacting with the Milky Way. Sadly, it does likely remain intact after this encounter. And if you look up towards the top of the chart, you have IC48418, which is also known as spirograph nebula. And some of us, I guess, are old enough to remember the spirograph. It was popular for making designs. The biggest planetary nebula, magnitude 9.6. You definitely need a telescope for it. But it got its name because it has intricate patterns, similar to those that can be created from the spirograph. And if you look at the photos, science case is very important. So why not take a tour through this constellation? I know you'll enjoy it. And with that, unless you have any questions, I'll turn it back to you, Kelly. In case you've got a little bit too. Alright, thank you for that, Carolyn. And it is a constellation I do kind of look at whenever I can see it. Sometimes it's a little too far south, but depends on where I'm at, I can usually sometimes see it. Alright, let's go ahead and call ID and see if everybody's still awake here. On the count of three, throw out the call sign. 1, 2, 3.
W1XWX.
Yeah, PID.
Buddy, sit down, buddy. Sit down, right there.
Alpha Delta 5 Zulu
There
R.
you go. Sit down.
And let's go ahead and check and see if anybody else would like to check in. I heard 85CO. I don't believe I have you on the list. Just confirm that call sign and what is your name and location, please.
85 said, oh, name is Tom. I'm right down near DFW Airport.
Hi, Tom. Welcome to the dentist meeting. And do we have anyone else who would like to check in?
Alright, you get that. You can watch the TV and put that on for you. That's The Walking Dead, is what that is. It's an old one. That's one. I think that's the first year or the second year or something.
Welcome to the dentist meeting. Let's go ahead and move on to recent astronomical discoveries. Brenda, WB5OZL, what do you have for us this evening? Thanks, Kelly. The first article is titled Extreme Turbulence Boiling Most Luminous Galaxy in the Universe. The most luminous galaxy in the universe, a so-called obscure quasar 12.4 billion light years away, is so violently turbulent that it may eventually devastate its entire supply of star-forming gas, according to the observations of a large 10-millimeter array. Again, researchers used almost trace for the first time the actual motion of the galaxy's interstellar medium. The gas is dust between the stars. What they found, according to Antonio Santos of the Universidad Diego Portales in Santiago, Chile, is a galaxy so chaotic that it is ripping itself apart. Previous studies with NASA's Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer wide spacecraft revealed the galaxy that W2246-0526 is glowing in infrared light as intensely as approximately 350 trillion suns. Evidence strongly suggests that this galaxy is an obscure quasar, a very distant galaxy with a voraciously heating supermassive black hole at its center that is completely obscured behind a thick blanket of dust. The galaxy's startling brightness is powered by a tiny yet incredibly energetic disk of gas that is being superheated as it spirals in on the supermassive black hole. The light from this blazingly bright accretion disk is then absorbed by the surrounding dust, which re-emits the energy as infrared light. These properties make this object of physics in the infrared that Roberto Alden, an astronomer with the Universidad Diego Portales, earlier almost 30 feet. The powerful infrared energy emitted by the dust This has a direct and violent impact on the entire galaxy, producing extreme turbulence throughout the interstellar medium. These stars compare this turbulent action to a pot of boiling water. If these conditions continue, they say, the galaxy's infrared radiation will boil away all of its interstellar gas. This galaxy belongs to a very unusual type of quasar that is hot, gas-obscured galaxies, or hot dogs. These objects are very rare. Only 1 out of every 3,000 quasars observed by light belongs to this class. The astronomers use elements to precisely map the motion of ionized carbon atoms throughout the entire galaxy. These atoms, which are tracers for interstellar gas, naturally emit infrared light, which becomes shifted to millimeter wavelengths as it travels through the vast cosmic distances to Earth due to the expansion of the universe. Large amounts of ionized carbon were found in an extremely turbulent, dynamic state throughout the galaxy. The idea sometimes described today revealed that this interstellar material is careening anywhere from 500 to 600 kilometers per second throughout the entire galaxy. Astronomers believe that this turbulence is primarily due to the fact the region around the black hole is at least 100 times more luminous than the rest of the galaxy combined. In other quasars, the proportion is much more modest. This intense but yet localized radiation exerts tremendous pressure on the entire galaxy to potentially devastating effects. Don't put down that one. The next article is the new theory of secondary inflation expands options for avoiding an excess of dark matter. Standard cosmology, that is the Big Bang theory, with its early period of exponential growth known as inflation, is the prevailing scientific model for our universe, with the entirety of space and time rolling down from a very hot, very dense point into a homogeneous and ever-expanding vastness. This theory accounts for many physical phenomena we observe. But what if that's not all there was to it? The new theory from physicists at the U.S. Department of Energy's Brookhaven National Laboratory, Turkey National Accelerator Laboratory, and Stony University, which were published online on January 18th in Physical Review Letters, suggests a shorter secondary inflation period that could account for the amount of dark matter estimated to exist throughout the cosmos.
Right here.
In general, the fundamental theory of nature can explain certain phenomena,
See this. You want to see
but
this?
it may all end up giving you the right amount of dark matter. That human Dipole, group leader of the hydrogen theory group at Brookhaven National Laboratory, and an author of paper. If you come up with too little dark matter, you can suggest another source. But having too much is a problem. Hidden amount of dark matter in the universe is no easy task. It is dark, after all, so it doesn't interact in any significant way with ordinary matter. Nevertheless, the gravitational effects of dark matter give scientists a good idea of how much of it is out there. The best estimates indicate that it makes up about a quarter of the mass energy budget of the universe. While ordinary matter, which makes up the stars, our planet and us, comprises just 5%. Dark matter is the dominant form of substance in the universe, which leads physicists to devise theories and experiments for its properties and understand how it originated. Some theories that elegantly explain perplexing oddities in physics, for example, the inordinate weakness of gravity compared to other fundamental interactions, such as the electromagnetic, young nuclear, and weak nuclear forces, cannot be fully accepted because they predict more dark matter than empirical observations can support. This new theory solves that problem. dodgeable, and his colleagues added steps to the commonly accepted sense at the inception of space and time. Standard cosmology. The exponential expansion of the universe called cosmic explosion began perhaps as early as 10 to the minus 35th second after the beginning of time, as the decimal point followed by 34 zeros before 1. This explosive expansion of the entirety of space lasts a mere fraction of a second, eventually leading to a hot universe, followed by a cooling period that has continued until the present day. Then, when the universe was just seconds to minutes old, that is cool enough, the formation of the lighter elements began. Between these milestones, there may have been other inflationary interludes. They wouldn't have been as grand or as violent as the initial ones, but they could account for a dilution of dark matter. The beginning when temperature soared past billions of degrees, and a relatively small volume of space, dark matter particles could run into each other and annihilate upon contact, transferring energy into standard constituents like matter particles like electrons and quarks. But as the universe continued to expand and cool, dark matter particles encountered one another's motor annihilation rates couldn't keep up with the expansion rates. Alright, that's all. We're there because you're wanting to come along. Both of these are from science daily. So back to that. Both that out. Thank you, Brenda. Interesting stuff. I'm going to go ahead and move into our NASA report for this week. NASA's Juno mission to Jupiter has broken the record to become humanity's most distant solar-powered emissary. The milestone occurred at 1 p.m. Central Time last Wednesday, when Juno was about 493 million miles from the Sun. The previous record holder was the European Space Agency Rosetta spacecraft, whose orbit peaked out at the 492 million mile mark in October 2012 during its approach to Comet 6017. Launched in 2011, Juno is the first solar-powered spacecraft designed to operate at such a great distance from the Sun. That's why the surface area of solar panels required to generate adequate power is quite large. The 4-ton Juno spacecraft carries three 30-foot-long solar arrays festooned with 18,690 individual solar cells. At Earth distance from the Sun, the cells have the potential to generate approximately 14 kilowatts of electricity, but transport those same rectangles of silicon and gallium arsenide to a fifth rock from the Sun system as a powerful different story. Jupiter is 5 times farther from the Sun than Earth, and the sunlight that reaches that far out packs 25 times less punch. That Rick Nesbakken, Juno's project manager from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. While our massive solar arrays will be generating only 500 watts when we are at Jupiter, Juno is very efficiently designed, and it will be more than enough to get the job done. Prior to Juno, 8 spacecraft have navigated the cold, harsh, underlit reality of deep space as far out as Jupiter. All have used nuclear power sources to get their job done. Solar power is possible on Juno due to improved solar cell performance, energy-efficient instruments, and spacecraft, a mission design that can avoid Jupiter's shadow and a polar orbit that minimizes the solar radiation. Juno's maximum distance from the Sun during its 16-month flight mission will be about 517 million miles, an almost 5% increase in the record for solar-powered space vehicles. Juno will arrive at Jupiter on July 4th of this year. Over the next year, the spacecraft will orbit the Jovian world 33 times, skimming to within 3,100 miles above the planet's cloud tops every 14 days. During the flybys, Juno will probe beneath the obscuring cloud cover of Jupiter and study Jupiter's aurora to learn more about the planet's origin, structure, atmosphere, and magnetosphere. Also, this past week, NASA has awarded 3 cargo contracts to ensure the critical science, research, and technology demonstrations that are informing
down, honey. Sit down. Sit down.
Getting down.
Sit down. Right here. You want a cookie or something? I'm gonna get some package.
Guarantee a minimum of 6 cargo resupply missions from each provider. The contract also includes funding ISS integration, flight support equipment, special tasks and studies, and NASA requirement changes. And on a space history for this past week, on January the 10th, back in 1946, the U.S. Army Signal Corps began Project Diana, named for the Roman goddess of the moon. Project Diana marks the birth of radar astronomy, a technique that was later used to map Venus and other planets. It also was the first demonstration that terrestrial radio signals could penetrate the Earth's ionosphere. The project took place at Camp Evans in Monmouth, New Jersey, a site that played a significant role in transit radio communications during World War II. January the 11th, back in 1962, in his greatest
Here,
Congress, President John F. Kennedy
it's
said,
a baby
with the
chips.
approval of this Congress, we have undertaken in the past year a great new effort in outer space. Our aim is not simply to be first on the moon, any more than Charles Lindbergh's real aim was to be first to Paris. His aim was to develop the technique and the authority of this country and other countries in the field of the air and the atmosphere, and our objective in making this effort, which we hope will place one of our citizens on the moon, is to develop a new frontier science, commerce, and cooperation, the position of the United States and the free world. This nation belongs among the first to explore it, and among the first, if not the first, we shall be. And 10 years ago yesterday, Stardust, the first mission dedicated to studying a comet, returned particles from Comet Wild 2. The mission captured thousands of particles of comet dust during a close encounter with the comet, and also brought back samples of interstellar dust that may contain ancient pre-solar grains that are older than our solar system. After dropping the sample return capsule at Earth, the Stardust probe was reutilized for a visit to Comet Triple 1 in February of 2011. This new mission was known as NET. And we're almost out of time, so we'll kind of skip the satellite passages for this next week. But you can always go to heaven-above.com and put in your information and find out when any visible satellites will be passing over your location. It's a great website, and it has the International Space Station and the Chinese Space Station and a number of other bright satellites, the Hubble Space Telescope, and so forth that you can go out and take a look at over your location. It's at heaven-above.com. Alright, let's take care of a little bit of business here before we close it out. Let's start with all ID on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
W1XWX.
And do we have any additional seconds before we close it out tonight? If you do, please come down with your call sign, your name, and where you're located.
Hello, Foxtrot 5, India, Victoria, Juliet, Paul, Jessica, I-20 and I-45.
Hi, KF5, IBJ, Justin. Welcome to the message meeting. This is where we're getting ready to close it out. And let's see, do we have any final comments before we close it out? If so, come down with your call sign. Go ahead, Mike.
Wonderful day.
other DARC nets. If you would like to try your hand at this, contact any of the net controls by sending an email to net@w5xc.org. You can follow topics and discussion about this net and astronomy in general on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our audio and video streams, video archives, and other useful internet resources by going to w5xc.org at the conclusion of this net. So, until next 99, this is K5ATX. The net at 22:29 local time, and return the repeater to normal amateur use. And don't forget tonight's afterglow movie, Destination Moon, as Mike said, beginning immediately after this net. 73, everybody.